Have you been keeping tally about what fish number that is for 856? Is that number 11 or 12?
Yeah, 11 or 12. I kind of lost track in there as I was talking a little bit ago.
And he's going right back at it after must be eating that thing almost whole.
And we're about a half hour into the broadcast.
Yeah.
So I think I should reintroduce ourselves. So my name is Mike Fitz. I'm a fellow with Explore.org in the bear cams in 2018.
And my name is Andrew Laval. I am a ranger here at Katmai National Park and Preserve. And this type of programming, this play-by-play is something we're going to be doing pretty regularly throughout the rest of the season. You can expect it right here on the bear cam, brought to you by Explore.org in what is Katmai National Park's centennial year.
And we'll be here at least for the next half hour. We're going to be narrating the bear and salmon activity. There will be pauses where we're just watching the bears and allowing you to hear maybe some of the sounds of the scene here. But tons and tons of interesting behavior that we can observe each evening. And I try to come to Brooks Falls almost every night while I'm here at Brooks River, because this is such a special spot. It is one of the iconic places of all of America's national parks.
It absolutely is. It's this high concentrations of what is normally a very solitary creature, brown bears, here at one spot on the Brooks River, here for one reason and one reason only, and that reason is the sockeye salmon, of which 51.3 million are expected to come up Bristol Bay this year.
We haven't seen too much interaction between the bears this evening. They seem to be kind of have their own little spot, and as long as the other bears stay outside of that radius, things are kind of hunky-dory, so to speak. But if we have another bear come into the area, that could stir things up.
Yeah, we had one brief altercation between bear 708 and 503, one of our younger adult.
And you can tell that just by his location of where he's sleeping, he's a competent sort of adult, big adult bear. A younger bear, a smaller bear, one that's been sort of recently separated from its mother, would never sleep on the island, because that's a place where they'd be very vulnerable to attack from these larger bears. But 747, who's actually just waking up now, it seems.
Letting out a large yawn.
Yeah, he's so big that he really doesn't have to worry about other bears, threatening him. 856, as long as he's well fed, will keep his distance. We have seen a lot of interactions between those two bears. We'll see if 747 moves. I bet he's going to pick one of these fishing spots that's occupied. They don't really lap the water like a dog does. It seems like they're more sucking the water in, like we would if we stuck our face in the river. And 747 is a giant. I mean, I think he's bigger than 856, at least weight-wise.
He's more rotund.
Yeah.
856 tends to look a little bit longer, but as far as general shape, 747 is a little bit more round. And in case viewers at home are wondering, the number did come before the size. It just happened to turn out that he eventually became one of our more dominant bears.
It was a kind of a bit of a prophetic number to give him, because he is a really, really large bear. When he moves out behind the grass, take a look at how fat he is. This bear would, right now in the fall in Denali or Yellowstone, he would look like a very, very healthy bear ready to go into hibernation. So he's just as fat as right now as some bears that live in the interior of the continent will be in the fall. So and I don't know how he'll walk in the fall. He will be extremely rotund.
Absolutely. And if we get a look at his neck, if he comes this way, he is sporting some scars behind his ears, likely from one of these recent altercations.
So let's watch him, see where he goes.
747 approaching the 5 bears already at Brooks Falls.
You can see 755 just looked downstream.
He noticed them.
Yeah, definitely noticed 747. Probably kind of wondering, hey, are you going to encroach on my space? Do I need to move or challenge you? 747 might be hot right now. You could see him just sitting down in the water.
He was basically baking in the sun. I'm relatively warm, and I am under 900 pounds, or however heavy 747 may currently be at this point in the season.
So he's just kind of creeping up there. It doesn't look like he's really too eager to displace another bear, but...
Although 755 definitely did notice him, look back once or twice. He hasn't approached unnoticed.
And where 747 is standing right now, not a particularly good fishing location. There's a lot of fish that kind of stage right in that spot before they try to leap the waterfall, but there's a lot of escape routes. So sometimes people will wonder, well, why aren't the bears, downstream where there's all of these fish? And it's a lot harder to fish for the salmon where the salmon have escape routes. So that's why you see the biggest, most dominant males preferring to fish at Brooks Falls, because it's the easiest place to get them.
And again, the name of the game is getting as many calories as possible while expending as few as possible. And it looks like Bear 83 caught a fish and is taking it to the top of the falls, onto the lip.
And that's a contrast to what we were seeing him doing at the beginning of the broadcast. He was eating his fish right in that spot. And then he saw 747 approach and he decided, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna move out of the way and eat my fish in privacy.
And 747 has assumed the location previously occupied by, what's up there, 83? Yes.
Some of these bears are generalists. They're able to fish in a lot of different locations. Many of them are specialists, however, and they'll focus on just one or two places.
Right.
So 747, for example, he'll fish near those rocks. He'll fish in the jacuzzi, but he really prefers those two spots. And then other bears, like 480 Otis, he'll fish against that far wall and the jacuzzi, but he doesn't really go on top of the lip or anything like that.
If you're just joining us, this is a play-by-play here on the Bear Cam. My name is Andrew, joined by Mike Fitz, fellow with Explore.org for 2018. And we are sort of narrating bear activity here. We have 409 currently on the lip. There are 856 in what is known as the jacuzzi in front of her. And then working our way backwards, we have bear 755, 747, who just entered from stage right, and bear 480, nicknamed Otis, against the wall.
We have another bear moving upstream too that we haven't seen quite yet. He's against the far side over there. We were just talking a lot about number 83. This is probably a sibling of his from a different litter. So they're not the same age.
But sharing a mother.
Yes, so they do share a mother. The mother's no longer known to use the Brooks River area, but this is number 274. He has a very similar face to 83, not nearly as scarred because he's younger, maybe by 4 to 5 years or so. But very wide blonde ears.
And so
very similar muzzle shape.
And he is heading back downstream. Maybe he got a good look at who was around the falls, decided he didn't want to hang around there anymore.
And he's one of those bears that's growing a lot, but can't quite seem to hold his own at Brooks Falls. He's just not quite large enough.
Mm-hmm. In contrast, bear 503, one of our younger bears, he can hold his own and has in remarkably short time.
And 503, I love to watch his continuing story.
Yes,
it is such a unique story.
It's a pretty remarkable life story. If we want to recap it for folks.
Yeah, just briefly. He was born in 2013, came back with his mother, in 2014.